to the old news show, Danger Recall. How you doing, team?
The old new show. It's the old new show.
It's the old new show,
but it's an old kind of show. It's kind of ancient, but it's kind of new. It's really modern, and it's made for you. It's the old new show. The old new show. Hit me with it, Ross. You've got the flow.
It's the old news show where you get your flow. Don't go down to the show, cause it's the old news show. Old news show. Get your people onto the show.
The old
Drum,
news show.
You now got the flow.
Yes, I did. I had it just before. I don't have it now. I don't know where it's gone. It's on the floor. The old news show. The old news show reminds me a bit of that thing that with that guy with the head in a box. What's it called? You know the guy. But Max Headroom. Here he goes. What? Yeah. Recall. I don't know what. Sorry, Dan. Dan should be taking it. I messed that up. That's the old news show.
It's the old news show. It's the old news show. Colin plays a character who looks like a crow, except he doesn't right now. He plays MZ. What's he done this week? I guess we'll see. Colin.
I mean, mine was better.
Yeah, I think you've got the flow.
So my guests today are Dan, Ross, Scott, and Drum. We've got like loads of us here today.
Word up, man.
Which is pretty good. I know last week you got all 6 of us. This week you got 5 of us. We're going to be talking about episode 11 today. Before we start talking about the episode, I just want to big up everyone that's listening to Danger Recall. We've had a lot of love on the Discord, haven't we?
Yeah. It's been going down very well, hasn't it? It's been going down very well. You're doing a great job, mate.
Yeah, appreciate all the love. We're going to keep this love going. I really enjoy listening back to the episodes. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really enjoying it again. I think I've listened to them probably about 6 or 7 times now, all the way through. So this is really fun for me. Yeah. And today we're talking about episode 11, as I said before. This episode is called Hooked on a Feline.
So it's a good pun.
Hooked on a feline.
Yeah.
Has anyone got
A feline that we can hook.
Yeah, right. Has anyone got a summary of this episode? Now, I'm throwing this out. Dangerlings, we didn't know we were going to record this today. So this is kind of like I am chucking out there into the ether just to see if any one of my guests can give me a summary off the top of their head of what happened in this episode.
I'll have a stab, right? I'll have a stab.
Go for it, Tom.
But this is what I remember, which is probably not all of it. But we were in a pub. We were looking for skulks. And Fulton, he was trying to like give someone a shakedown. It was like, we're looking for Shiver. And we got, and so he's trying to give someone a shakedown. And we get taken outside, and instead of Shiver, the guy's selling cats. That's what I remember.
That is correct, and there's a couple of other things that happen, but actually that's
probably
pretty succinct, to be honest.
All of the thing you missed that happened is the bit that Shania did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right. What was that, Dan?
So you shake down. So at the end of episode 10, we found Michael being attacked by some of the villagers, and Fulton and Shania are the ones who break it up, and they pretend that they want to beat him up, and then Shania comes within like 1 point of murdering one, like just turns around and just takes one of them out and nearly kills them, and then it is broken up and you get Michael away from there. But yes, it nearly ends in a bloodbath, and then it goes spectacularly off the rails with the cats.
Then we finish at a warehouse, don't we? We finish at the Shiver warehouse where is that the one?
Not
yet.
Not quite. No.
Ignore me then. Ignore me. Good to recall.
Just to let you know, Dangerlings, today when we decided to record this, none of us have actually listened to it. Well, I've listened to the episode, but the rest of the Dangerlings, I think Dan's listened to it, but I sprung this on everyone at the end of a record when we were doing episodes, and unfortunately James couldn't be here today for the rest of this, but that's why our summary was like that today. I guarantee next week our summary will be succinct. Who fancies a deep dive?
Yes,
I do.
Yeah.
I have one of the biggest deep dives I've done so far on Danger Recall.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about how fun this episode was to record. All right. Hooked on a feline, am I right in saying, is a pun on hooked on a feeling?
It is.
Dan?
Yes.
All right. So Hooked on a Feeling is a 1968 pop song written by Mark James. It was originally performed by B.J. Thomas. Now, Thomas's version featured the sound of the electric sitar played by a guy called Reggie Young. It reached number 5 in 1969 on the Billboard Hot 100. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a bit of a deep dive. I'm going to go even further. It has been recorded by many other artists, including Blue Suede, whose version reached number 1 in the United States in 1974. I know what you're thinking. That's a pretty big deep dive. I'm going to go an even further. The Blue Suede version made singer Bjorn Skif's Ooga Chaka, Ooga, Ooga, Ooga Chaka well known and famous in Sweden at the time, although it had been used originally by a British musician called Jonathan King in his 1971 version of the song.
Colin, sir, I've got a question, sir. Which one of those versions is the one we all know from Guardians of the Galaxy?
That would be the one before, so not the 1971 version. That will be the one that went to number 1 in the United States, which was the Blue Suede version. Now, who's ready for some more deep dive on the same? Oh my God, I've got more.
You can't go deeper than this, man. You're crazy. You're off the rails.
So deep here. Now, this was used in one of the first email trends. Before social media, it was a computer-animated dancing baby. Right? Do you remember this?
I do. Yes. Yeah, that's from Ally
in the
McBeal,
day,
isn't it?
I was just about to say it was used in the popular show Ally McBeal. That's correct, which starred Christina Flockhart, Lucy Liu, and the soundtrack. And it was also used on the soundtrack to Reservoir Dogs. Then it was used on the soundtrack of Guardians of the Galaxy, like Scott says there. How's that for a deep dive?
That was subatomic.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching Danger Recall. So see you later. That's it. That's it.
That's just talk about that.
Have you seen the film 47 Meters Down?
No.
Oh man, it's it's about like a cage that like shark cages, and the thing breaks and it falls right the way to the bottom. That's how deep that dive was for me, man. It was 47 meters down.
Wondered where you were going with that.
Yeah, I didn't know where you were going.
47 meters down. It's hard.
That was.
Do you remember how fun this was?
That was one of those episode titles where I just was like, "Oh, what can we do?" I was like, "Feline sounds like feeling," and then just went into Spotify and just typed "feeling" song search and just looked through it, and I was like, "Feline good, feline this." Blink-182, great song, and then I was finally like, oh, "That's the one."
Yeah. Do you remember how fun this episode was to record?
Oh yeah.
It was pretty fun.
I nearly died.
It was so much fun.
It was one of those ones that reminded me of when we used to play. You know what I mean? Like where we got the good proper belly laughs in. It was cracking, man. It's cracking.
I think a couple of episodes ago we were talking about how the fact that the team were gelling together. This was one where we really gelled together in the sense that we were just having fun. So much fun while playing and recording. We just kind of forgot the microphones were there, and it was just ridiculous. It was so crazy. I loved it. I really enjoyed this session.
I remember thinking to myself, in fact, I was like, as like sort of Fulton went out, I was like, Dan's definitely not going to give us the shit. Like, he's not going to deliver us what Ross wants right here. What's he going to do? What's he got? What's he got in that cat? I remember thinking it, and at no point did I think cats. No, not until he said it. But it was a wonderful reveal when it happened. It was amazing.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
So we start the episode off. In the preamble, we have a thing called Ufafu. Do you want to explain that, Dan?
Oh my goodness! So that is from Shooting Stars. That's a Shooting Stars friend.
Yeah.
Amazing Vic and Bob show with Ulrika Johnson.
Yeah.
And who else was on that show? Regularly.
It was what's his name?
Matt
Lucas. Yeah, he's a baby. He used to do the scores, right?
It was a really funny kind of like fake, panel show.
Yeah.
In in the UK.
It was a quiz,
wasn't
it?
Really funny. Yeah, it was like a quiz.
I had a skin tight bright orange T-shirt that said Iranu on it. That I used to wear out raving.
Yeah.
I might have even said that in the episode. Did I say that? No,
I don't think you did.
No.
Mark Lamar was on it as well.
Oh,
Yes.
Lamar was on it quite a lot.
Yeah.
He was the other one.
And later on, Will Self. Will Self.
Will Self. Yeah, Will
Oh,
Self
you did
used
say
to be
right?
on it,
Yeah. It's crazy. Sorry, barely listened.
Was
Yeah,
there
'cause
like
we were talking about Kemoth. Sorry, Scott. We were talking about Kemoth and Unami, and I think we were trying to get the right names again. We're still, we're still clocking this.
Yeah.
And someone went Unami, and someone went Ufafu, and that was it. Yeah, we just talked about
It
that.
was that show was a really weird collection of all like the oddball British comedy. Like they started off just being weird themselves, and everyone started watching it being like, "Oh, this is just weird and surreal." And then everyone else who was also kind of weird went on that show, and like,
Yeah.
it was a weird sort of amalgamation, wasn't it? It's quite
I'm
fun.
a huge fan of anything Reeves and Mortimer. Anything
Yeah.
either of them, and none of their shows can be explained. If you try and explain the premise of any of their shows to someone who's never seen them, they'd be like trying to explain like House of Fools or something like that. And be like, it's a sitcom, but also it's consciously a sitcom, and it's kind of aware that it exists in its own thing, and the audience is there. And it's like you would never actually watch it. You'd just be like, that sounds awful. And then as soon as you've seen one, you have to watch every one of them because they're just so compulsive.
Exactly like Uvavu. Like Uvavu is something that one of them says as a klaxon for the end of the round. I think.
Yeah.
And he just goes, when you hear this noise, Uvavu. So go and watch it on YouTube. I'm sure there's plenty. Reeves and Mortimer.
I can tell you now, like I've been watching Taskmaster recently, and there's a series that has Bob Mortimer on it, and it is absolutely fantastic because Bob Mortimer, right? He doesn't even try to be funny. He's just natural.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's just being doing his normal stuff. He's just funny. It's insane. He's so fucking good, man. It's brilliant.
Follow him on Instagram. He does some really good train guy, like business guy things where he's like talking out loud on the train as a businessman.
Oh, that
It's
sounds
so
good.
funny.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they really
Nice.
Gone Fishing as well. Tremendous.
Yeah. Oh, what with Paul
All right, we've got to move on. We've got to move on. We're not
even
even
to the pub singing bit.
I know.
I've
I've got two more deep dives before that. No, I'm joking. Right, so we've got We Sing a Whole New World from Aladdin. I'm not going to deep dive on that because we've already deep dived. We've got Late in the Evening by someone starts singing It's Late in the Evening, which is from Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton, which has been covered by a number of people, including a boy band called Damage. Do you remember them?
Oh yeah.
Damage. That's the only thing deep dive I'm going to do on that. On the beginning of the episode, Shania and Fulton spring into action and fight against the town. They try to intimidate the bunch. They get a couple of hits in and they make them run away. Shania forgets that she can heal. Do you remember that drum? Oh, yes.
Do I remember that I couldn't play the game properly and don't remember? I know, I try and block these things out, Colin, but thanks for bringing it up.
It's the only reason I brought Danger Recall up, just to like pull up when we get things wrong. The rest of the club arrive. They ask for a healing potion. M doesn't say anything, but he actually has one at this point in time because he doesn't want to waste it, which is kind of good because later on, I don't want to spoil it, but in a few episodes' time, he needs that healing potion. So he did the right thing by not healing Michael.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that probably saved his life. Yeah.
All right. There's no need for that. Can we kick Scott off the show?
I'm just saying that's some health potion rationing karma, I think, coming back around. Interestingly.
Yeah, maybe mistakes from the novice player Colin there.
You're not a novice anymore.
Episode 11, I definitely was.
Wow.
Anyway. They take him to the carnival.
When you made the moral decision to not heal the injured boy, that was because you were inexperienced at playing the role-playing game. That's what caused that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right, they take him to the carnival to save him. Dellison does a bit of magic. She does a bit of magic. M says he needs a rest. Shania needs to rest to get spells, so the club decide to go and rest. As they get back to the place, Caragor kicks in the door. Do you remember that?
I do remember it. Is it the first time Caragor kicks in the door while everyone on the floor?
Or is it the one with the swinging? Was it the one with the swinging doors?
I think we have a couple of kicks in the door.
It's not the first time.
I think he kicks it in every time he goes there, so it's before.
Is it that? Okay.
We found out as well. We find out before we leave on the way there. You find out that Michael is Dennis the guard's son. So
right.
With a bit of like, that's why Dennis the guard is so antsy. Is that?
Oh my god! I'm not even sure that I ever worked that out.
No,
or if I did,
I missed that out now.
Wow. I'm blown away.
We also mentioned Spain. Spain is now a thing in our Pathfinder world.
Do you see? Because recently I said I didn't say Spain. I can't talk about this because
yeah, we can't talk about this
because I thought I shouldn't. But anyway, oh man,
but they all sit at the bar.
Been blown all over the place.
The club sit at the bar. They have an amazing chat and they wait for a meal. We mention pub salad for the first time.
Ooh.
Drum, for those that we haven't really explained it as much as we need to. Can we explain what a pub salad is?
Well, it's a bunch of different crisps all mixed up together in the middle of the table on the open packet of another packet of crisps. For instance, you could have Monster Munch mixed in with McCoy's, maybe even some Twiglets if you really want to push the boundaries, because they're not strictly a crisp, Or you could have pork scratchings in there. Anything. It's got to be a bar snack though, yeah. Bar snacks. Mix them all up together, 3 or 4 different kinds of bar snacks. That's your pub salad right there.
So for our American listeners, the potato chips, obviously we call them crisps.
Oh yeah.
Potato chips, but you could have Lay's and Pringles.
Twiglets, you might know them as burnt sour sticks if you listen to Andrew WK.
From Andrew WK. Yeah, I love that video.
Right. It's one of my favourite things I've ever seen. Yeah.
We talk about a Wonderwall by Oasis. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what we say about that song, but it's that's from What's the Story, which was 25 years old about 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
Number 1 and overplayed in many countries. Let's be honest about it. But essentially it is an amazing song. Yeah. Like if you actually sit down and listen to it, I think it just got so overplayed, didn't it? That everyone was kind of like, oh god, by the end of it.
James played the Mike Flowers Pops version on his live on his music stream the other day. I was like, wow, that's a very specific, very Radio 1.
That was good. I quite like that tune. I quite like that. I remember seeing it on Top of the Pops and stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Top of Pops.
Yeah. It's a great song. It really is. Then they have the Heart to Heart, which is a really nice moment in the club history. They all say really good stuff to Shania. They get on and they have life lessons, which is really nice. Caragor reveals his name.
Oh, there it is.
And that he has enemies. So for we finally hear Caragor's name. Velda confesses that he didn't see the person who robbed him. Right. So he's been lying to us all this time about the boots and eyes man.
What do you think about that, James? Not here. We're empty chairing James about that. Explain yourself.
Yeah.
Because Djibouti man is... there is no Djibouti man. Can't be found.
Exactly,
doesn't exist.
Fulton gets to speak. He says, fuck parents. And we have loads of people in the bar going, fuck parents.
It's unconnected, really just random moment. People in different places.
And then Caragor has a moment by the fire. Do you remember this, Caragor?
No.
You don't remember it? So Caragor sort of walks over to the fire and then just stares into it for about 10 minutes and then just starts shouting into the fire.
I do remember it. Wasn't it? Was I shouting farty? Wasn't I shouting
Fardine or something?
Yeah. Wow, in my mind that comes a lot earlier. I didn't realise I was so obsessed with farty this late into the episode. It just seemed like it could have been the solution, It seemed like Fardine could have answered a lot of questions at this point.
Then we start talking about somewhere far away where bandits took over a cave. Now, does anyone want to explain that? Because that's a reference to something. Do we know what that is?
Oh, wait. Who talks about that? Is it me?
I think you talk about it and then Dan takes it over like as a flashback or something.
It's a reference to our previous game, our social game our off-air social game, where yes, we played essentially a bunch of bandits who became adventurers, and through adventuring, we basically came into property, which was a bandit cave, which had 2 basilisks living in the cellar, and then we got turfed out by a giant spider one time.
Yep. So that was an in joke that only 5 or 6 people would get, and
it's the majority of the
5
table,
of them are here.
It's the majority of the table.
To be fair, that's how many listeners we had back at this point. So it's,
yeah, exactly.
I think we recorded one of those games as like a test to see if we could do the podcast. I don't think I ever kept the recording of it, but we.
No, you didn't. Gold Patreon. No, you didn't. That would have been gold Patreon content.
Because I had it.
Have you still got it?
Oh, I've still got it.
Oh my god! Oh no, we can listen to the process. We listened to Prototype Brimbo.
This is unbelievable.
Wow.
We've got 3. I think we did 3 hours. We did a 3-hour record, and we recorded the whole thing just on one microphone.
Like, I might have been at home with the kids during that one. I don't remember.
I'm not sure if you were there. There was a guy called Sam.
Oh, Sam was there.
I think.
Sam used to play with us, yeah. And there was everyone here. I think James was definitely there because he got there late and he was really annoyed.
Because that's our Patreon goal now.
What, for James to arrive late and be annoyed?
yeah. If we get £2,000, we will release this 3-hour episode that is probably
to one person.
Wow. I mean, the thing is, it is the middle of a campaign, and nobody knows the characters and stuff like that. Well, they know Brimbone, I guess. But yeah, maybe I'll dig it out and we'll have a listen to it, and then we'll see if it's like an extra bit of content we can just share with you. Dangerlings, just to hear our test run. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, so that's a big deep dive, and it's brought something up that we didn't think was going to happen.
Yeah,
so
wow.
Shania then invites Caragor upstairs.
Oh, really?
Do you remember this?
Yeah. Pretty drunk.
Yeah.
That was early flirtation. That was, man. Yeah.
Early flirtation.
I mean, really quite straightforward flirtation. Like, come to my fucking room. But I'm not sure.
Doesn't Caragor still think you're scary at the moment?
No.
Shania's been released.
I'd sort of. I dropped the bomb that I was a dark elf. Well, actually, what's her name did that? The little girl. And then I told her that my name was Shania, and you all went, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, I remember,
and that's why I ran off. So yeah,
I remember Caragor not taking Shania up on this, but for some reason, I couldn't remember what the reason was.
Well, by the morning, what happens is we all come downstairs, and Caragor has completely forgotten that anything has happened. M is the only person that notices it. You know, M was doing all these roles, wasn't he? He was like, did he hear it? Yes, he did. Which was great. But yeah, Shania kind of says something about last night, and Caragor says, what do you mean? And she's like, nothing.
Yeah.
So Shania canonically made the first move then in that thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think probably so. Yeah.
She hunted prey on you.
Yeah, right.
She saw you.
So
man.
after breakfast, Fulton goes to see the shadiest guy in the bar. And what does Fulton do? Let's talk about that, Ross.
Fulton manages. I wanted to find out if we could locate the cellar of Shiva so that we could get a bit further into the story. So I asked Dan if I could go to the shadiest person in the bar. Most of my plans involved me just going up to Dan's characters and doing something weird, hoping that something will arise from it, and something did. He tells me that he's got the good stuff. He's got the good stuff, and he'll meet me in the alleyway outside. So I leave, and I think everyone, being players that always need to sort of just be there as well for me as well, because everyone is always like, "Where are you going, Fulton?" Because I always do it. They follow me outside. And then the man proceeds, he's got a big coat on, and he goes, yeah, you want the good stuff? I'll give you the good stuff. Yeah, let me show you the good stuff. It's real good. And then he reveals like loads of cats just pouring out of his pockets in his underneath his coat. And then Colin put some wonderful cat effects in there.
Do you know what? It took me ages to find the right cat sound effects. I was listening to cats on YouTube and that for about 3 hours, just trying to find.
Because it needs to be like loads and loads of like little ones mewing and like you can picture him all trying to climb out of his pockets and stuff. He's putting them back and like whoa, like.
So his name was Shady Devlin.
Shady Devlin, that's right.
If ever there was a time we needed the Patreon like name an NPC thing.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
I remember coming back and listening to the podcast of that episode, like on my way back from somewhere, and it literally got to the cat noise effect bit, and I was like, fair play, Colin. Like, went to town on the cats.
Dan, just before you move on, Ross. Dan, how did you handle this?
Oh my god! I mean, I'd struggled to breathe. Even remembering it is hard. It's one of those just weird. Sometimes like your brain scripts something but doesn't visualize it immediately, and so you're like, cool. And so in my head I've been like, okay, he's going to go outside and he's after the good stuff. The good stuff's not going to be drugs because it's too early for that. So it'll be something else. It'll be cats. He's selling mangy cats that he's found around the street, and then that'll be fine. And he got to it, and as soon as he got around there, I had to explain what was in the coat. Suddenly my brain just formed the image of just this guy with his coat open with just so many cats, and they're just climbing out, and just all the time he's talking and just keeps picking them up and putting them back in. They're not secured in any kind of way, and it's just like it's like those videos of like when they're trying to clean the panda enclosure and just trying to keep moving them and they keep rolling. And as soon as I got that image, I just couldn't speak anymore, and it's just this
that's funny.
all these kittens, and I'm just like,
it was hilarious you not being able to speak. For us as
it broke me. And then it did it all over again when we got the edit back and the cat noises were in there, and I could see it.
Well, I think it was one of our first, Dan, you and I, back and forth, because I see what happens, Dangerlings, is a little bit of inside info. I edit all the episodes and then I send them to Dan, who gives them like a once over check just to check if anything's gone wrong. And then he'll upload them to so you can listen to them. And Dan, I think it was one of the first times that we had a massive conversation just about how funny something was in an episode on our WhatsApp chat, just going, oh my god, that's hilarious, I couldn't believe that sound effect. And like, it was really great.
I think I was going to say Dan's very good at, because he's played with us for years, so he knows each individual like thing to like draw from us. So he knows that we always say it, that he knows that I'm going to always go off and ask an NPC their name or something like that. So Dan kind of already knows that may happen, so he's prepared, and it's props to Dan to like create something so funny and so off the cuff as well. But it was a funny moment.
I was certainly hoping the rest of you. I was glad when everyone else followed, because I'm happy yes-anding with Ross, but I feel safer doing it if the rest of the players are there to stop it at some point.
Yeah. So then what happens is Fulton buys some cats, Scruffy and Fleabag.
I can't remember how much money
cats.
I give him.
I can't remember, but the mangiest cats that you could possibly find. And then we hear about a guy called Filton Leg, not Fulton, Filton Leg. Am I correct in saying that?
That is
Dan?
correct. Yes, that's the
Filton Leg, who sells Shiver Down by the Docks. So they head down to the Flop House. Caragor kicks in the door again. Which is not the swing door. So, I'm going to listen out for the swing door, actually.
Congratulations to Caragor, because he is the reason that Fulton didn't make it out with like 12 cats and no money. And Caragor shut down the illegal cat trade in Ilsurian.
Oh yeah, I sort of talked him down from that, didn't I? Sort of like overbore from him. It's kind of like non-specific what the cats were being sold 4.
Yeah. Oh, he just wanted to sell you the cats.
yeah.
He'd sell you them for anything.
He did say that he was like, at one point he was like, "Do you want to do a line of cats?"
Yeah, that was it. That was the one that got me in the entire scene. Imagine just a line of cats that you're trying to do. Like, how?
Yeah, I got the distinct impression they might have got ground up at some point, man. Like, and that's not on. That's why we need to shut it down, man. Yeah.
Anyway, I've got a note here that says Fulton is missing after that. Do we remember what happens here? Does Fulton like disappear somewhere, or
I probably.
I don't remember
As
that in the
usual.
episode. I made these notes a long time ago, Dangerlings. So if you can tweet us and let us know what I mean by that note, that would be great.
Let me know
I
what.
don't know.
I wrote something down. I can't remember what it is. You guys probably know. You're good fans. You know what I'm thinking.
I mean, feel free to listen to this episode after us and then give us any comments. That would be amazing. Then we do a bit of a song, "O Vienna," which I haven't done a deep dive on, but it's, this means nothing to me.
Which is, the deep dive is based on a popular ice cream. That's what that song is based on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then the episode ends with a crowd gathered around a dead body. The dead body is hanging from the sign of the pub. Is that right, Dan?
He's hanging up in the docks from sort of in a prominent, I think, hanging from a lamppost, and he's got a hand cut off and various items stuffed into his pockets. He is not in a good way.
No. So there we go.
Yeah.
Episode 11.
That's pretty good.
Banging. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good episode.
That was a good episode.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to play you out with a kazoo?
Go on.
Yeah, before you do, actually, right? There's been a lot of love as well. Sorry, Scott's got his kazoo in his mouth, like ready to blow, and I'm like, no, wait. There's been a lot of love for the theme tune as well.
Oh, it's a great tune.
I just want to big up the theme tune to Danger Recall, which is basically the theme tune to the Danger Club podcast.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's a banger, Ross. Shut up. It's well good.
Thanks for the love. That's all I want to say. Thanks for the love, everyone. It's been great.
Originally by Ross Bogdan, remixed by Colin Hubbard. So if you're going to play us out, Scott, you have to play us out in kind of 8-bit, kind of digital version.
I mean, it actually works with a kazoo, really.
Yeah, it kind of does, yeah.
Hooked on a feline.
See, this is what it's like, Colin. This feels like when everyone's just doing bits and kind of waiting for me to sign off the show. This is sometimes...
That was it. That was playing us out. I thought you were going to stop the...
I will.
I'll got to do it again now.
No, I'll fade it out.
We're keeping this in now. Keep this in.
Thanks, Dangerlings.
See you.
See you next week. Danger Recall.